set? Okay. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome to the Monday, June 2nd, 2025 Selectmen's Meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Public input. Anybody? All right, seeing no public input, move to the approval of minutes. We have the May 19th Selectmen's Meeting minutes. You all had a chance to read through them?
I
don't think you have a copy in there, sorry.
All right, well, anyway, I read the electronic version, and from what I hear, it's enough up to date. I'm
what was the change, Ashley, from the electronic version?
The minutes were sealed non-public.
Okay.
So I move that we approve the minutes from May 19th.
May 19th.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Was that for the non-publics as well, both of them?
Oh.
No, they have to be separate.
And we have non-public minutes. We have two sets of non-public minutes from May 19th. One from 6:02 p.m. and the other one from 6:40 p.m. I've read both of these minutes and I didn't see any corrections that needed to be made.
Yeah.
I don't think they've been forwarded around. I think only one copy was made.
Take a quick glance.
Okay, you need that.
Both of these are sealed.
Yes. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve both sets of sealed minutes from May 19th.
May 19th.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And moving on to appointments. Steve Scapicchio.
Just wanted to give you guys my final update as member of the Conservation Commission.
That's chairman of our Conservation Commission?
Yes. Williams property corner lot on Old Woods Road. The owners, Beth and Brenda Williams, working on correcting violations that occurred during the last logging, so we could not, we've been looking at that for a few years now, but we had to stop because there were violations that had to be corrected before we could move forward. They've agreed to correct those violations. We have already submitted pre-application for both LCHIP and ARM funding, so it looks like we'll be able to get the lot, purchase a lot for no money from the town. So that was pretty, once the violations are corrected, there'll be a site visit for both organizations. And as of right now, LRCT will hold the easement on the property. So the town will own the property, LRCT will hold the easement on it.
Okay, and what are we gonna do with this property?
It's just gonna go into conservation. So the long-term goal of this is kind of connected to the Great Meadow, if possible. So right now, the 80 acres that is out there is kind of disconnected. But we're looking at the brown lot, which is behind it. And then there's one piece of, I'll tell you about that piece in a minute. So hopefully we'll be able to connect that to Great Meadows. Other than that, it will be just a standalone easement. Mainly protect protect further development from down off, Ledge Hill Road. So there's that development that's right on top of it, that we don't want to happen down in this headwaters to the Melvin Village there, so it's a kind of a really special piece of property. Sergeant Road property, which is the Melvin Village Marina property, that Matt Young has agreed to give us an easement on. One section of the river needs to have wetland delineation mapped in order to get the boundary, because the easement is gonna go up to the end of the wetland delineation. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Matt on when that delineation will be done, and then we can move forward with that piece of property.
Is that something that he's, picking up the time on?
Yeah, I haven't, I met Matt down at his attorney's office, back in, I think it was, November, and that's when we discussed this, but at that time, they couldn't go out there and do the wetland delineation because it was winter, so I'm just waiting for him to get back to me on that one. The Carlton purchase, if you remember, we applied for an L-chip funding for that piece of property, which we did not receive, so we never could get that piece of property into an easement, because there's additional funds that need to be done, and the town had only approved as much as to purchase a property and nothing else. So we are applying to Moose Plate this year to see if we can get the additional funding to get that piece of property into an easement as well.
So how much funding is needed?
I'm waiting to hear back from that. I had Rick Vanderpool to see. It's really, what that is really is a LRCT, which will hold the easement. It has to collect so much money to put into a fund in case legal, offset fund and stuff like that. So there's money, there needs to be a couple property assessments done, scientific assessments, to make sure there's no waste on it, stuff like that. So it's a small amount, we're probably looking between $10,000 and $15,000 to do it. It has no effect, the town owns the property right now, so the easement just protects it in perpetuity. 19-mile brook study.
We could grant an easement. And still own the property.
But you have to have somebody that will hold the easement. The town can't own the property and hold an easement on it.
You'll still grant it, but they often want funds associated with it. They don't want to take it at a cost to them. So they often put money like in a revolving account so they can pay for
Yeah,
it.
I understand the process, I'm just wondering why that's the case.
I honestly don't know the legal ramifications, Chip. I just was always told that the town, if the town owns the property, they can't own the easement on the property as well.
Well, my recollection of that is that if the town wants to buy a piece of an easement, we need to have somebody else hold the easement and arrange it. The town owns that property, we don't.
That's correct.
I mean, look at the easement that we're gonna get on the Melvin River.
Yeah, so
Who's gonna own that?
the town will hold the easement, so you don't, so there is a deeded easement, so the town holds that easement.
Right.
They will have that easement, but Melvin Village Marina owns the property. So there's two separate distinct entities involved. And that's how the easements are
It just
usually
doesn't
set.
make logical sense to me. We can hold an easement on property that someone else owns.
Yes,
But we can't hold an easement on property that we own.
that's correct. That's, you know, the reason that you have it, two separate entities, so it prevents the owner of the property from violating the easement. So it's kind of a checks and balance system.
Or we do nothing and nothing changes.
Or we do nothing and nothing changes, so, and the town still owns the property. The difference between the two is, right, if they hold the easement on it, they hold the rights to do whatever they want, not to prevent you from doing whatever you want with that property. If there's no easement on it, the town can do whatever it feels like it wants to do with that property. And that's the reason that you put an easement, is to prevent that, to keep the property into.
So we're gonna pay somebody to protect it from ourselves?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially, yes. But that's why we do it all within funding, so it doesn't really cost the town anything to do that. Any other questions on that one? 19 Mile Brook study, so at the request of the selectmen, I had FPE add the test point near the outlet to 19 Mile Bay. There's an additional cost of $500, approximately $500 for that, and that is to cover the cost of UNH doing the testing on the water samples, not for FPE to go out there and collect them.
Oh, right.
So if that $500 exceeds the amount in the warrant article, we do have a line item in the conservation budget for the $500 to cover that cost if we need
Alright,
to.
so we're gonna go to the town first, and then if we have to, go to the,
Yes,
okay.
yes. The Mirror Lake Watershed Plan update. I believe the only thing we're waiting for that is governor and council approval, and they gotta sign off on that, so that's the last piece of the puzzle before we can get moving on that. So the application's been submitted. I saw that you guys signed the loan application. So the last thing that we need to get that moving is governor and council approval, so. And I don't know where that is in their agenda, they're in their budget season, so everything keeps getting pushed out. If it's not to do with the budget or money, it gets pushed out a little bit. Hersey property, there's a large piece of property adjacent to Great Meadow that the Hershey's owned, which he just sold. The new owner of the property came in and we spoke to him about possibly purchasing the easement for where the Melvin River is, then backwards, I believe it's northwest to up against our current property we own. His response was they just bought it, they don't know what they're doing with the land, he's not opposed to an easement at this time, but he's not gonna
commit.
He's not there yet.
He's not there yet.
Yep.
But he is willing to consider an easement, so, and that would be great because that would protect another huge chunk of the Melvin River. So,
Very good. Easements aren't usually in perpetuity, are they?
oh yes, they are.
They
If
are?
ever, oh yeah, it's a deed, it's a regular deed on that piece of property.
Okay. I thought they ever had expired.
No, it's a regular deed on the property, and it's actually regulated by the Attorney General, so it's very hard to get out of a conservation easement or any kind of an easement once it's in place.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the courts can't even get it out, so it's very binding.
Okay.
And that's it, that's all I had.
Okay.
So who's taking your place?
I have no idea. I'll have to have an election and decide on what they want to do with it.
Okay, so they don't have that yet.
They know that will be this month, so June will be my last, the June meeting will be my last meeting with the Conservation Commission, and then,
Oh, so you are gonna be at that meeting?
yes, in June, that will be my last one, right? 'Cause I believe you guys approve in June is when you guys approve all the appointments.
Yeah.
So, June will be my last meeting.
Well, you have done tremendous work for the town of Tufton Borough. Speaking on behalf of everyone in the town, I don't think we can thank you enough for the work that you've done. And we are all grateful
Oh,
for your work.
it's,
Thank you.
it's my pleasure, as a resident of the town, these are kind of important things to me, so I do it. I just want to thank you guys for the support over the last 6 years. I mean, I can only bring this stuff in, and it takes you guys to approve it, so that means a lot to the town as well, so thank you for that.
Whoever takes over your spot is gonna have big shoes
Big
to
shoes.
fill.
Well, I'm leaving the commission, you have a full board and you have 3 alternates, so, which is a lot better than when I came, so.
Yeah.
They have enough people to do it.
I think all of us that come into public service want to make the town a better place than when we found it.
Agreed.
And you've certainly done that.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Thank you.
But I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, so,
You'll be an advisory position.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say, if you guys want, I can stay on these 6 projects until they're completed, on an advisory role, it doesn't matter to me, I don't want to drop out just
Yeah, I think
nothing,
it's,
but I've been following through these on the last 3 or 4 years, so I'm willing to stay on.
Well, that'd be fantastic.
On these projects, just to make sure that they get done.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Fantastic, thank you.
Can't say no.
Okay, thank you guys, have a good meeting,
Shake your hand,
Yeah.
thank you.
see you all later.
All right, next we have a requested non-public session. This non-public session is, I'm gonna make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion that we go into non-public under RSA 91A:3 which is matters which if discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board unless such person requests an open meeting. That's a motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor by roll call, Murray, yes?
Duffin, yes?
I'll be yes.
Okay.
It's a different.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we come out of non-public and seal the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled meeting. We had transfer station at 5 o'clock. They're not coming tonight. So we have another non-public.
Right. This one's contract.
Days on the agenda.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we go into non-public under RSA 91A:3 2D, which is consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property, which is discussed in public would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community.
I'll second.
All those in favor, roll call vote, Murray, yes?
Duffin, yes?
I'll be yes.
Good.
Okay, we are live. I'm gonna make a motion to come out of non-public.
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public.
I'll second the motion.
Fair enough. All those in favor?
Aye. It's cool. I guess it doesn't matter if she's here or not, but I'm gonna make a motion to authorize Audrey to coordinate getting a draftsman to do the adjusted plans on the roofing so that we can get that portion of it done. The estimate on the cost was between $1,500 and $2,000.
I'll second that for discussion. I thought that he was gonna handle that.
He's not gonna pay for it, we're gonna pay for it, and it's not in the,
Because we still have to.
I think it was 1,500 to 2,500, and I think that also included the wall.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's not just the roofing, right? There's
Yeah.
a little bit more to it, right?
Right, the changes that we made. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye. Okay. I guess not.
Okay, next is the consent calendar. This week's consent calendar includes acknowledgements of annual safety inspection reports from the Joint Law Safety Committee, a notice of appointment for Kevin Lawler to the Budget Committee, charitable exemption worksheet from our assessor for YMCA Camp Belknap, and charitable exemption worksheet from our assessor for Sentinel Ministries. Have you all had a chance to take a look at the items in the folder?
I'll make a motion that we send consent calendar items.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Action items. Sodom Road Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. Let's see, this is a motion. The motion is to accept the terms of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for Sodom Road as presented in the amount of $631,307.70 for mitigating local infrastructure, being the culvert. Furthermore, to acknowledge that the total cost of this project will be $701,453, in which the town will be responsible for 10% match, which would be $70,145.30.
Where does that fall with what we've already, have in,
The town meeting.
from the town meeting, oh my gosh, the words escaping me. Warrant.
Can I get a second for discussion?
I'll second.
Thank you.
It's fun, obviously. I'm sure the numbers are. No.
No, it was, Simon Road was the year before.
Oh, it was the year before.
23. Cannon Road. Maybe we haven't voted on Sodom.
How did we get here then?
Well,
We're
they're
on Sodom
applying for
Road.
the grant. It's not gonna happen until 26.
Okay, so we would have to get a warrant next year.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alright, so. Then what do we need now? Do we need a motion?
It doesn't,
To accept
well, I just made a motion and seconded it, but I'd really like to be sure, for discussion, so I'd really like to be sure what we're agreeing to here.
It's like the other three grants, it's the, official acceptance of the grant. And then after this, I think these go to governor and council too, yeah.
Yeah, this grant is, will be awarded $631,307.70.
Right, to which we have to then come up with another 70,000.
$70,145.30, which will be done at next town meeting, correct?
That's how I understand it.
Okay. But it's not 10%, the 10% matches the total cost of the job, which is $701,000.
Right.
Yep.
So, so for us to match, does that math? 631, 7
You're training them well, Chip.
That's why this happened.
71453, okay, the math is correct. So motion's been made and seconded. Are we all under the understanding of what we're doing here?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So we need that paperwork to be held on to until it come warrant time.
Mhm. Yeah. I already have Ashley drafting the warrants. I'm teaching her to draft warrants.
And we have a letter from Kirk Mudgett from the New Hampshire DOT. I presented the culvert replacement project on Route 109A to the select board last year around this time with summer or fall 2025 intended construction. Due to other priorities, this project was delayed for 2026 construction. We're currently working with parcel owners for easements. Last year we presented as summer or fall road closure to complete the work. I believe the town was okay with either or, with fall being a preference to be outside the summertime influx of traffic. That's consistent with what I remember.
Correct, but there's a change now.
One question that has us taking a harder look at that project details is the school bus pickup and drop off during closure. And
Basically, there's no place to turn a bus around.
not easily.
Right.
Bus turnaround seems pretty challenging. I was hoping that summertime closure was still acceptable, as we can't seem to fit a pickup location for children, a turnaround for the bus, and to work on Willow Ave all in a small site. Signed detour will still be Route 109, and local shorter bypass roads exist depending on the destination. Couldn't they go pull right in to North Country Village and turn around down where the mailboxes are?
The problem is, once they're actually doing the work,
Yeah,
that's gonna be limited. Like, there'll be a period of time when they're actually doing the work where they won't be able to. They'll be able to have cars and stuff go in and out of there. But I think the bus traffic, I can see where the bus would.
well,
be concerned.
I think what he has in his mind is turning the bus around there, which I get would be a problem,
Yeah,
right in the construction site.
right.
But if the school bus would actually pull in to North Country Village.
Oh, they could go down in,
And go
turn
down to
around
where the
inside and
where the
then-
mailboxes are.
Yeah, that may be. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't think doing it in summertime is a good thing to do, closing off that road during the summer.
Well, I guess,
Can we present that scenario to Mr. Mudgett and see if they can take a look at that
because there's definitely space inside
inside the village?
the village
Yeah.
to do that. Is there any reason why the village would have an issue with that?
We would have to ask them.
Yeah.
I think it would be.
I mean, I'm guessing
As a
that,
courtesy, if anything.
right, I'm guessing he's thinking, well, that's another step we have to do if we don't have a turnaround, so he's
Right.
maybe not considering
Isn't
that.
that where
because-
the kids are coming from? Cause I don't know any other.
Right.
kids.
Yeah, that's where the kids are coming
Exactly.
from.
So,
And if 3-4 weeks, if they have to, change the school bus stop to inside the village rather than at the edge of the village, that's reasonable.
As long as the buses can get in and out,
Right,
which my understanding is the construction has to be such that you can get emergency equipment in there
mhm,
at any given time. As such, you would think a bus would fit that dynamic, so
correct.
I think it's a worth an ask, yes.
Would you follow up that kind of conversation?
Yes, I'm not real familiar with the geography. Is the village on this side of the culvert or the other side?
It's on the
on the
store
far
side of
side.
the culvert,
south side.
The far side.
south side,
Okay.
store side,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the west side of the road.
right,
So if you go over the culvert, take a right into North Country Village, just drive straight in, and you'll see
yeah,
you'll see the mailboxes and the pond, and there's a pretty big area there that they may be able to.
so there's plenty of kids on the other side of that culvert that get picked up and transported different roads. Okay,
There's a half a dozen that are right there
yeah,
that meet in North Country Village.
It would mean that for that period of time, the buses would take longer to do their route. I
right,
mean, that's unavoidable.
So if Mr. Mudgett thinks that that's an okay idea,
And we can get permission from North Country
so
Village.
then we get permission from North Country Village, I think we can make that work.
But we have plenty of time to do that,
Right.
as long as Mr. Mudgett is.
If not, we'll have to go back to his plan A. All right. That's it for that folder, consent calendar. Correspondence. Governor Wentworth Regional School District town assessments for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. It's just payment schedule, along with our.
Yeah.
July is fairly high and they want it by a certain date.
Yep. It's typical, we get that every year. Kearsarge Energy proposal for the state's group net metering. I encourage, I've met with this gentleman. I don't know if you have this information. I encourage you to read that packet of material. What it is, in a nutshell, is that municipal entities within the state of New Hampshire that build solar facilities are required to sell excess electricity, or not sell excess electricity. If they generate excess electricity from what they're contracted for with Kearsarge Energy, that excess energy, the dollar value gets split amongst other municipalities
Okay,
if they generate above and beyond what they're contracted for.
okay.
So anybody that's a municipal entity can sign on to accept those dollars.
Okay.
Sounds like free money.
I mean, what's the alternative? We
don't sign on and we don't get any money.
We don't get any money.
If we sign on,
And there's no downside if we don't have excess.
no, other than we just don't, if it's a cloudy month, we don't get a check. That type of thing. But if there's excess electricity being generated
Right.
above and beyond the
So
contract.
this is the only way that we can sell the energy back.
No, this isn't us selling.
No, it has nothing to do with our solar facility up here.
And we don't have to sign our solar.
We don't have to sign, this has nothing to do with our solar facility that we're building up here. All it means is that these solar facilities that are around the state of Manchester, Berlin, where, there's a list in here where they are, we can sign on to accept those excess dollars.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's free money.
Well, why wouldn't you?
What's the catch?
Yeah.
Well, I want you both to read through the material, and I'm gonna invite, Mr. Malcolm Bliss from Kearsarge Energy in to come meet with us
Okay.
and, give you a full explanation, and then we can decide from there, but.
I mean, I would say that if we read this and there's no concern, we don't need to meet with.
I think it's a good
unless
idea.
you think-
I think it's a good idea for you guys to meet him anyways,
Okay.
absolutely. He can come and explain how it works, ask the questions that you're gonna come up with. The big one is, it's free money, what's the catch?
What's the catch?
I threw that out 10 times during my conversation with him, and there is, as far as I have discerned so far, there is no catch. It's free money.
It's like they need permission to give us money. Okay.
Yeah, other people are signing on to it. Other municipal entities are signing on, and they're getting their portion of the pie. I think if they're offering us free money, we should accept it.
So they're an aggregator essentially for the excess energy. They get a cut off the top for the service. We get a cut
Of the excess.
The excess. Got it. Okay.
They make their money.
Right. They're facilitating it. I get it.
Yep.
I can send it to you electronically, Dave. And,
That'd be great.
yeah,
actually.
then ship them a full hard copy.
Yep. Yeah. That's fine. Yep.
This is by statute.
Yeah, apparently, because that's the question that's better answered by him.
As you understand it.
As I understand it, it's by statute, yes.
And there's no limitation on the way we spend the money we get.
We'll find out.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Let's read the document. Let's have him in. We'll figure out.
Yeah, read the document, come up with a list of questions. We'll have him in. He's very easy to talk to. I basically vetted him, but I think he needs to come and sit before us.
It makes sense. I've seen stuff like this before in the sense of, somebody's got an idea of how to aggregate and make it work, and then they just take a cut off the top. It's actually a really simple business model.
He's earned an audience.
Yeah.
With his explanations to me.
Yeah.
So, we have a New Hampshire Heritage Bureau wetlands information. Somebody is creating a dug-in boathouse along the shore of Winnipesaukee, so this is just a notification of a wetlands permit. And we had a town member, a citizen of Tufton Borough, step on our job site and come up with a list of questions and concerns. I'm not going to get into the details of the questions and concerns about the construction that's going on, but we have created a response to those questions and concerns, and we'll be, you've all read this. If it's okay with you, I'll sign it and we'll.
I'll make a motion that the chair signs the response letter.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And town administrator and selectmen's updates. Audrey?
I requested legal to prepare the paperwork for releasing the additional funds that have lapsed related to the police station. And so the selectmen's rep's gonna wanna be really knowledgeable in presenting that to the budget committee in August. So she will have that ready. I did write to the road agent today and asked him to look at that property on Ledge Hill Road that has not been addressed yet before drainage. Because that resident came in today. And tomorrow morning at 9 at the substation on Ledge Hill Road, there's going to be, I guess that's Eversource, you know, what are we doing here, why did we build it, and,
The co-op.
oh, the co-op, so it's an informational session at 9 AM. She just came in today and told me about it.
They've been working on that thing for a year.
Oh, it looks
And,
great.
and it does look great. Now they're just coming in to tell us what they're doing now.
So, yep, I don't know,
Okay.
maybe they'll
What-
copy the.
This is what we've done.
It's pretty
Hope
obvious
you
what
like
they're
it.
doing. I mean, they completely leveled it. They gutted it,
And
everything.
they said they would, or she said they would also talk about, their fiber plans for the town, and where they're at with that.
Good. I don't plan on attending that meeting.
Okay. She wanted you to know. So I ordered a drop box it goes through the wall so people can drop taxes when the tax collector's not here.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of the cash management, Tammy and I should not be touching cash, we're not bonded.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll have residents just put it through a lockbox and Bob had looked at that. You know, we had talked about that
Mhm.
before.
I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, so that's been ordered because now if town clerk's open, she's bonded and deputy town clerk is also deputy tax collector. So, I went on the sidewalk for the culverts, that was interesting. So HEB, should I invite them in to keep us updated on where they're at? Or do you want just a letter report? What they're
Well,
doing?
from what I gathered, because I went on that site walk too, I gathered from their, the discussions that we were having that this isn't anything that's gonna happen this year.
They are going to be starting the environmental permits and assessments, wetland studies, those kinds of things.
Yeah, they have to do
The
that.
actual construction might not happen this year, but
Oh.
they're the ones who, I have to do quarterly reports for the grant.
Mm-hmm.
So
How many projects do we have going?
three right now.
Three, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Canaan, Curtis, and Union Wharf.
And they're all HEB?
Right. But there's a couple on Union Wharf. That's like a part 1 and part 2. Right?
Autumn Road was huge.
Maybe it was Sodom Road.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was 2 parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
When we were on that, the resident who lives at the corner of Sodom and County spoke to me, and they'll be here at the next meeting to talk to the selectmen about that. And I updated the list of things for the police station, what's going on. And all of the subcontractors have come in and signed their contracts. You have them countersigned tonight, and that's been keeping me busy. So I am out at Primex supervisor training Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Good. Have a good time.
Where's that?
Concord.
I think you'll enjoy that.
The office is closed tomorrow. Cammy's leaving at 11:30.
You posted.
I put it on Facebook, Jen put it on the website, and Cammy has a sign at the door.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And somebody will still.
Is it?
That's it.
All right. Chip?
Well, working on the police station.
Yeah.
We did,
I'm grateful that you're able to stop by
Yeah.
as frequently as you have.
As am
put
I.
the fence in, Steve Hunter took off the excavated material, he'll bring back screen loam
Yep.
that we need. The driveway is pretty well roughed out. As soon as the cement's poured on the footing, Jory will start digging the drainage for both the interior perimeter drain and the exterior perimeter drain exits that daylight. And the chief of police picked up signs for the gates, for the fence, so to keep people out. I think that's it. I talked to Jack about his person who's supposedly coming up with a bid on the building. Obviously, it came in from a meeting with Chris. And they were, at that meeting, he was talking about maybe bidding on the building, but it doesn't look like that's a good arrangement for him or us, so. That's it.
But he has connections for.
Right, so we can get some other bids.
He can get bids, it's just not his.
Cranking up.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially for, as he said, the larger things like the flooring. Which is worth it for a flooring company to come in and do the numbers. But we're looking at the figures that Audrey's given us. We haven't overspent the budget we currently have. I had it. Again, I don't know what I did with it.
Which one?
The finance one like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have this?
Yeah.
Try your police
I
folder.
made some notes on that.
Maybe
Try
clean
your
this
police
one.
folder.
Okay.
Should be at the top.
Well, I've been fishing
Oh,
around.
well, can't for that, sorry.
There's no control on that. Anyway, it appears currently that we've awarded $1,014,984.46 in work. And we've got $1,293,702 in current capital. So we're in good shape there. Our spending is only 224,674, but a lot of that is
Deposits.
So a third of the electrical's been paid for.
A third of plumbing, it looks like.
Plumbing, pretty close.
Yeah.
And hydronic system's a little light, but I think that covers
That's covering the radiant.
the rough end.
I'm sure he's gonna be asking for deposit for, the equipment, the HVAC equipment at some
Right.
point.
So I think, cash flow wise, I think we're doing okay. As Audrey mentioned, there will be another meeting that comes up. We all need to be very facile in, and we've got, just with the rough numbers that we have, with the fixed numbers and some rough numbers on the building, we have $456,000. To the good, as it were, with the project walls up. So we've got a little bit of latitude as far as what we can do. I know that we talked about the site manager number, and that's another 30 grand. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna play this going forward, but it looks like we're still in good shape.
That could be a real benefit though. Could be money well spent.
Oh, it'll be money well spent. I don't know if he's gonna save us any money, but it's definitely money well spent as far as spending money.
Right.
And maybe he will save us money.
I think it'll take a burden off of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll
Absolutely.
prevent a conflict of interest with
Yeah.
Jack, yeah.
Agreed.
And so much of this bidding that we've put out there happens later. I mean, the paving, the
Sheetrock.
sidewalks. Yeah, we haven't ordered the sheetrock, but the bulk of the plumbing actually happens after the building's up.
Yeah.
As does the electrician stuff.
Yeah.
Those expenses aren't going to affect your cash flow for quite a while. Thank you.
On the list of construction tracking, I entered that I worked with Scott Thompson to order the electricity to the site and make Scott the town's representative to talk to the electric firm.
Good.
So that's all been done. And Chip had a concern of, you know, the subcontractors are buying this material, then how do we make sure if something was to happen to them or their company that we're covered, that we own that material? So I created that memorandum with Bubba.
Yes, that's what these other ones
But
are
I
for.
really want your input on it. I kind of made it up.
Well, I read the first one and I think you pretty much, I think you nailed it. I'm not gonna give any names on this one, but this letter serves to formalize the agreement regarding the transfer of ownership of the supplies that you purchased on behalf of the town of Tuftonboro. The supplies are associated with the construction of the police station in Tuftonboro. The equipment is stored wherever you store it. You were paid X amount of dollars for X amount of equipment. Please provide the town with manifest for the materials that have been purchased. By signing below, it's recognized that in the event you or your company gets hit by a bus, no, it's not hit by a bus, is unable to complete the agreed upon work, the supplies belong to the town of Tuftonboro. That's it in a nutshell.
Is that gonna be Chip? You good with that?
Yeah, we need to have some sort of surety that.
Yeah, if we paid a deposit, we own the equipment.
Right.
For
Well,
whatever
I know he
reason.
has a storage unit, but
Yeah.
where is that?
Yeah, exactly. That's fine.
Alright.
No, I think that's fine.
Okay. I
And
don't know if, the other two vendors are pre-purchasing material or not. I should ask them, and I will.
well, we hope they are because, you know, the way prices have been changing, we hope they're purchasing equipment. You all set with your update?
Yeah.
You all set with your update? Anything for you? Nothing for me.
Did anyone show up to your fishing course?
Yeah, like 10 people.
Fishing?
PH.
PH. Email.
Nothing.
Because there was fishing, I was gonna bring that up with Scapiccio, the fishing derby was down on
Yeah.
19 Mile Brook.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope it went well. There were a bunch of cars there over the
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. It seemed pretty busy.
So we had the MOUs for our plumber, mechanical contractor, and electrician. They're all in order. We have two proposals for security cameras, lock access. We need, I did want to talk about these tonight, but I haven't had time to go over them. And I'd really like to dig into them before we award them.
Well, we'd love you to do that.
Okay. And we also have an change order, memorandum of understanding, for the concrete for the footing. Has Jack seen this? Is Jack familiar with the change?
Yes.
Yes.
You authorize the change.
He authorized the change. Okay, then I'm okay with this. I'll make a motion that we sign.
What I wrote down when Jerry came in here was that it's without additives.
Yeah, which is fine this time of
Yeah,
year.
it's just-
Yes.
Yes, we do.
The additives are more for frost protection.
Oh.
I'm good with it. So I'll make a motion that we sign the all the MOUs that we've just discussed.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And any other business we need to talk about tonight? All right.
I will motion for adjournment.
I'll second, but just one bit of discussion. There is a site meeting on Tuesday next week at
4 o'clock here.
Oh, here, I'm sorry, with the subcontractors.
Yes.
Contractors.
Yes.
And it's a work session, I guess was that what we were.
So it's a work session. It'll be a work session,
Okay.
a formal work session. All right. Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.